and you are welcome to the recap on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Amina Ojelabi, and I am your host for today. And I have here with me Mr. Peter Anosike. He's a political and a social analyst. Over the past 2 Saturdays, we've not been having the program, but we're sorry about that. But right here, we are ready for today. And here on the recap, you know how we do, we discuss some of the major issues that trended during the week. And of course, it's a way of keeping you updated with the news. And today, guess what? We have a lot of issues to unravel. So don't go anywhere, or you're going to miss out. You can also join in the conversation as we are streaming live on YouTube at VOP 90.3. And do leave your comment as we have this interesting discussion. So let's get right into the story. But first, I'll read the headlines for discussion today. Before I start that, let me introduce Mr. Anosike to the program today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's kickstart. And now the first story is the Southeast backs Tinubu for 2027, Senator Oji Uzokalu. And the next is Atiku coalition alleges PDP governors working against Tinubu in 2027. And the third one is we are behind crisis in opposition parties, says APC chieftain. Huriwa accuses presidency of silent over plateau killings, citing ethnic bias. And last but not the least, Labour lament high cost of living, braces for wage renegotiation. So right now, let me take a brief story of the first headline, which says the Southeast backs Tinubu for 2027. In the meantime, the Southeast geopolitical zone has resolved to rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election bid in 2027, according to Senator Oji Uzokalu, speaking after an Abia APC stakeholders meeting at his Abuja residence. The former Abia state governor said the party in the state is putting internal divisions behind to unite under the federal banner. He also revealed that President Tinubu, concerned about political disunity in Abia, has mandated leaders to reconcile and rebuild the party's strength in preparation for future elections. And now, Kyle also emphasized that aligning with the APC at the center would bring tangible benefit to the Southeast, citing federal projects in Abia North as examples. He affirmed its political credibility and influence in the region. And now let's take the first question. But before I take that, his words, and I quote what he said. Carlos said, I quote, he said, "I was a very good governor. They also know that I am a very good senator and that I have never deceived the people of Abia State. And I am committed to whatever we want to do and whoever we present as candidate for elections from the House of Assembly to the President, so they will know that they will be credible." So he also said that if he's doing second term, Abia needs to also align to the center because we cannot afford to be speaking indifferently. Now the question is, Mr. Anosike, now, with political figures like Carlo leading the charge for unity in the Southeast, and how do you anticipate the dynamics between Southeast and other regions of Nigeria playing out as the 2027 elections approach, especially with the growing factionalism within the opposition party?
Well, for me, what Oji Ozokano said is a lie, a very big lie. Understand me? There was nowhere Abia Southeasterners resolved to vote for Tinubu in 2027. That meeting never held. And as a governor, Oji Ozokano is one of the worst governors in the Southeast. His 8 years as a governor of Abia State was years of no cost. It was years of waste. Why government is failing in Abia until Anex Oti became governor was because Oji Ozokano never laid any foundation. He ran the worst administration in that's among the 1999 to 1990 among the 1999 to 2007 governors in the southeast. Orji Uzor was the worst. Orji Uzor was the worst governor that Abia State has ever had. And because he did not lay any foundation, Theodore that came after him has nothing to build on. Ikpeazu that came after Theodore has nothing to build on. Because when there's no foundation, you cannot build anything. So Kano was a colossal failure as a governor. I'm from Abia State. I'm from Umuahia.
Okay.
Understand me? So I'm not telling you that I heard. That's my own state. Kano is the brain behind the underdevelopment in Abia State until it was when Annex Oti came that we begin to experience development in Abia State. And the beginning of underdevelopment was because Orji Uzor for 8 years did not lay any foundation. Again, saying that Southeasterners has resolved to vote for Tinubu, he's just trying to save his face because his case with EFCC was reopened. So he's trying to use Southeasterners as a bargaining chip. So when he said that Southeasterners had decided, so when he said that Southeasterners had resolved to vote for Tinubu in 2027, so that maybe the EFCC or the presidency may pity him and close down his case, it is a lie. There were no meeting that Southeasterners said that they are going to vote for Boname Tinubu in 2027. Number two, Southeast is not a commodity for sale. Southeast is not a commodity for sale. And Kano has no capacity to decide for the Southeasterners. He can only decide for the members of his family. He cannot decide for me. He can only decide for the members of his family, those he has control over. That's why I always say that Joshua in the Bible was a very wise man. Because Joshua said, I and my family will serve the Lord. He never said all Israel, because he has no power over all Israel. You can only decide for those that you have control over. Kano does not know how I pay my rent. He doesn't know how I put food on my table. So he has no capacity, he has no power to decide for me or for my family. Election is a referendum. Election is an appraisal of somebody's stewardship in office. For the past 2 years, Tinubu has scored 0. So there's no way you can look at what Tinubu has done in the last 2 years and say that you are going to vote for him unless something is wrong with you upstairs. So there's nowhere that Southeasterners say that they have resolved to vote for Tinubu. It is a lie.
Okay, let's go. Let's go right into the next story. Article Coalition alleges PDP governors working against Tinubu in 2027. Now, a coalition led by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has accused governors of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, of sabotaging opposition unity and unwittingly boosting President Bola Tinubu's prospect for re-election in 2027. In a statement released Wednesday, coalition spokesperson Salih Lukman slammed the PDP Governors Forum for rejecting the proposed grand coalition of opposition forces, describing their stance as a betrayal of Nigeria's democratic revival and a gift to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). Now, Lukman alleged that key figures within the PDP, notably FCT Minister Nyesom Nyesom Wike are strategically aligned with the APC and working to neutralize credible opposition to Tinubu's second-term admission. He warned that the PDP has become a shell of its former self, hijacked from within and unable to offer a viable alternative to the current administration. Now, I'm going to stop there, but I'm going to quote him where he said, for more than 10 years that the PDP had been out of power, Nigerians had waited for the party to dust itself off and provide the viable opposition that Nigeria needs. Instead, the party went into suspended animation until the rampaging Tinubu-led APC found a willing undertaker to finally put it to rest. Now the governors knows that the virus that afflicts the PDP has no cure. They are only grandstanding. They know that Nigerians cannot accept this PDP as an alternative because it is clear to all discerning Nigerians that the ruling party has hijacked its soul. Now, Nyesom Wike is the untouchable super minister in Ashiwaju's government, not because of the sterling job he's doing in the FCT, but because he has done a great job of ensuring that the PDP is not able to present a presidential candidate to challenge Tinubu for power in 2027. Let me start from the last one. Now, how does it mean that the PDP is not able to present a candidate to challenge Tinubu's government?
Well, 2027 is still far. 24 hours is a very long time in politics. But Nigerians should know that if opposition fails to hold, if the PDP governors refuse to support opposition, they have betrayed Nigerians. If the PDP governors refuse to support opposition, they have become Tinubu's pawns, because there's no way you can beat an incumbent without forming an opposition. It doesn't happen. Everywhere that an incumbent was beaten, there was an opposition. It happened in Sierra Leone. It happened in Senegal. It happened in Mauritius. Understand me? There's no way a single political party in the opposition can beat an incumbent. And if the PDP governors feel that what is happening in the country now is good and should continue, it means that they are the worst enemies of this country. Yesterday, I read what governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Enno, said. You know, criminals hide under a lot of things. They hide under pastor. They hide under pastor. They hide under comrade. Understand me? So they hide under reverend. So for me, the PDP governor of Akwa Ibom was saying that he's going to support Tinubu in 2027, so that Tinubu will support him. So this has become a personal issue, no more what concerns the masses. So for me, I don't want to believe that the PDP governors will not support a coalition to fight in 2027. But if they fail to support a coalition, it means that PDP governors are the enemies of the people, number one.
Talking about the coalition, the Atiku-led coalition is pushing forward with plans to form a broad political alliance despite internal resistance. Now, what are the chances of this coalition succeeding in uniting Nigerians' fragmented opposition?
Well, there are a lot of factors that affects opposition coming together. You know, the aim of every political party is to win an election. That's the main objective of every political party, to win an election. So in every coalition, the number one problem is always the presentation of a presidential candidate. That's always the number one problem. Who will step down for the order? Who will step down for the order? This is the number one problem that always affects coalition coming together, because every political party will tell you that they have what it takes to win an election. Even when they cannot even win a local government, they will tell you that they have all it takes to win a presidential election. So who will step down for the other is always the number one problem for opposition coming together. Then number two problem is when bridges have been burned. Understand me? When bridges have been burned, what do I mean? When the parties in opposition are attacking each other. An instance, in 2023 presidential election, Kwankwaso said a lot of bad things about P2B. Understand me? So the same thing, I remember Kwankwaso saying that Labour Party is like Andrew Silver Salt. That it is here today and tomorrow it will not be there. So when parties has destroyed each other during an election, then coming together to form a coalition becomes an impossibility.
Talking about Kwakwan, so there's a news I saw, and did you read it as well, that is moving to APC?
NNPP denied it.
NNPP denied it.
His party denied it. But for now, he said that he is not joining any coalition. So I'm giving you the reasons why it is difficult for a coalition that to come together. Number one, I've told you that, speaking of a presidential candidate. Number two, when bridges have been burned, when candidates in the opposition have been attacking themselves, destroying
now,
themselves.
Let's talk about our coalition. This coalition includes high-profile figures such as Peter Obi, Nasir El-Rufai, Bachir Lawal, and other disgruntled APC and PDP heavyweight, extending an olive branch to all political actors. And now, do you see this above this name Lukman mentioned of the APC? Do you see them forming a coalition with PDP?
That's what I'm telling you. If you know what El-Rufai said about P2B in 2023, and what the son of El-Rufai said about P2B, now, because bridges have been burned, it will be difficult for them. No, an instance, it's just like what happened in Edo in 2020, when Oshomonde was saying that Iyamu was a criminal. Understand me? He called Iyamu a lot of bad names. Then when Iyamu now crossed over to APC, it became difficult for Sure Money to market Iyamu, because he has already told people that this guy is a criminal. So that's what I mean by bridges being burned. Then the number three problem that hinders opposition from coming together is send-out and traitors, which is what is happening in PDP and the opposition parties as we speak, because APC has infiltrated the other political parties, PDP, Labour Party, AMPP, and even SDP. So these people will make it, these traitors and send-out will make it impossible for the coalition to stand. So, but the issue is this: there's a saying that a people united can never be defeated. If the parties in opposition come together, Tinubu has no chance in 2027 because ordinarily his 2 years is a failure.
Okay, let's go into the next stories. And you are still listening to the recap. My name is Amina Ojelabi. And of course, you've been listening to The Voice. But the analyst, which is Mr. Peter Anosike, analyzing some of the stories. To join in the conversation, we are streaming live on YouTube. Head over to YouTube at 90.3 FM Live. That's how you see the faces behind the voices in the studio. And we are going to be doing this from, we started from Of course, well, we're actually behind time, 4 to about 6 o'clock, so we still have enough time. And stay tuned and listen well, please, in case I open the phone lines, don't go off topic of the stories we're talking about. So let's go to the third story that says we are behind crisis in opposition party APC chieftain. Now, in a moment of rare political candor, Senator APC figure Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu has opened admittedly that the ruling party is actively working to destabilize opposition parties ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking on one of the media stations, the former House of Representatives minority leader boldly declared that the APC would not sit idly by and allow opposition coalitions to gather strength. He said, and I quote, "We will keep putting sand in their gari." He said, using this, that's a Nigerian item to describe deliberate sabotage, that there is no viable opposition today that can defeat us. So that's the meaning of we will keep putting sand in their gari, in their own terms, in terms of what he's trying to say. Now, Ali's remarks come amid worsening internal crisis within Nigeria's main opposition platforms. Now, the PDP and Labour Party, both plagued by factional wars, contested leadership, and alleged infiltration. The PDP has seen its ranks weakened by internal strife, largely credited to FCT Minister is some weakened loyalty to Tinubu's administration, while the Labour Party remains mired in legal wrangling and accusation of external interference. Now, Farouk's comment have now given weight to long-held suspicion that these fractures are being filled by the APC behind the scenes political maneuvering. Now, the question to you is, but I'm going to quote where he said, Wike, who is officially part of the APC-led government but has refused to renounce its PDP membership, has been accused of orchestrating a factional takeover of the party structures, especially in Rivers State. His allies currently control the PDP at both state and national levels in some areas, creating parallel structures and weakening the opposition cohesion. Now, Ali's comment... Now, he said a major source of the party's disarray is widely believed to be its internal conflict fueled by the activities of former River State Governor Nyesom Wike. Now, they all come around say Wike is the one behind the PDP, is also loyal to the APC. Now, do you think the PDP could have done better?
Well, for me, what running for an elective position is not like running for the president of Young Men's Christian Association.
No. It's better in the terms of the fact that Wike is loyal to the APC. Of course, he's part of the APC government, and also a member of the PDP.
Excuse, that is the same thing. So everybody knows Wike's mission. Understand me?
What is Wike's mission?
It is not hidden. It is not hidden. Politics is not a morality game. Understand me? Politics is not a game that you go with a Bible on your right hand. That's why I say it is not like contesting for Young Men's Christian Association election, where decorum is needed. In politics, there's no decorum. That's why they say, if you cannot stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So, I love what the guy said, and that's the truth. That's what politics is all about, to weaken your enemy. So, saying that they are the one behind all the crisis in the opposition is truth, and is politics. And I have said it on this program, since APC is trying to destroy the other political parties, the other political parties should also try to destroy APC. Do you understand? It's not a moral game. It is not a moral game. This is a dirty game, and you play it that way. There are people in APC who are not happy. There are people in APC who are not happy. So it is the responsibility of those in PDP, in Labour Party, in NNPP to go to those people and use them to destroy APC. Because this is a contest, understand me? And the purpose is victory, to win. So APC is doing what they are supposed to do. So it should be stupidity on the part of PDP to be crying. APC is trying to destroy us. APC is behind our problem. PDP should also try to be behind the APC's problem. Labour Party should also try to be behind the APC problem. That is what politics is all about. It's like swimming in a murky water. Whatever you wear, you must get strains and stains.
Now with APC,
no, excuse me. No good guy runs for an election.
All right. That's stated there. Now with APC's open acknowledgement of sabotaging opposition unity, how should opposition parties like the PDP and Labour Party respond to reclaim their strength ahead of the 2027?
They should also start sabotaging APC. They should also start. If they have not started it, they are stupid. If PDP have not started looking for ways to destroy APC, they are a bunch of idiots. Understand me? If Labour Party have not started looking for ways to destroy APC, they are stupid. That is what politics is all about. It is not a moral game. It is not a moral game. That's why no angel, you cannot see a poster of an angel. Understand me?
Now, looking at this claim, do you see APC? Do you see this as a sign of growing authoritarian trend in Nigerian politics?
This is what politics is all about. If you watch the 2024 U.S. presidential election, this Chini campaigned for who is a Republican, campaigned for Kamala Harris. Over 100 strong members of the Republican Party campaigned for Democratic Party. So it is not a Nigerian thing. It is a global thing. If you are in politics, the game is try to weaken your opponent. Try to weaken your opponent. You don't allow your opponent to be getting everything right. So APC should be stupid if they should just fold their hands and watch PDP getting strong. Understand me? Because you don't wish your enemy success. Do you? You don't. APC should be stupid if they would just fold their hand and watch LP getting united. It don't happen. So PDP should also not fold their hand and watch APC getting united and getting stronger. What APC is doing to PDP and other political parties, they should also try to be doing the same thing to APC. It is not a morality contest. This is not a contest for Young Women's Christian Association.
Okay, let's go into the next story. We come back to that. You are still listening to the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and Amina, and that's Mr. Peter Anosike. You just heard his voice. Like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM live. Let me call the phone lines on and the WhatsApp lines. So as you listen to the conversation, you can also drop your comment. I'm going to be picking them by at least few minutes past the hour 5 o'clock. The number is 0803-692-9933, and the WhatsApp call and chat line is 0817 091756338. My phone has been buzzing, but not right now. Like I said, if you are listening to me, not right now. We are going to take all the stories before we start taking calls about your contributions. But before then, if you just want to leave a message on WhatsApp, I'm going to be picking them as well as on YouTube. So go leave your comment. I'm going to be taking them right after the discussion of some of the stories. Now, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, has launched a scathing critique of the federal government response to the relentless killings in Plateau State, accusing the presidency of willfully indifferent due to the victims' ethnic and religious identity. In a statement by its national coordinator, Emmanuel Umubiku, the group alleged that over 300 mostly Christian natives have been massacred since December 2023, yet the government continues to treat the crisis with deafening silence because the victims are not from the dominant Hausa Fulani demographic. Now, Huriwa condemned what it is described as industrial-scale injustice, claiming that had the attacks occurred in predominantly Muslim northern states like Kano or Katsina, top federal officials, including the Vice President and National Security Advisor, would have rushed to the scene. Instead, the Plateau State Governor warnings of genocide have been met with indifference, while armed headers allegedly backed by powerful interests continue to display communities from their ancestral lands under the pretext of reclaiming grazing areas. Now, the rights group also took aim at the perceived double standards among northern elites who were quick to rally around 16 lynched Hausa men in Edo State, but have maintained a disturbing silence over the mass deaths in Plateau. Let's talk about insecurity. Now, currently, our president is not in the country. Are you aware? Mr. Anderson, I'm asking you, our president is not in the country, and the rise of insecurity is growing really, really, really fast. Talking about Plateau, talking about Benue, talking about, should this be happening right now while the president is out there sitting somewhere?
The truth is that why President Tinubu is still in France is because those who are supposed to be killed are being killed. That is the only reason why Tinubu is still in France.
Can you expatiate that further? Oh, that English. Let me talk like a layman, like an kind of person who understand, no expatiate. Let me to break it down into pieces.
Very good. The only reason why President Tinubu is still in France is because those who are supposed to be killed are being killed. If it is those who are not supposed to be killed that we are killed, he will have run back to this country. Understand me? If it's those who are not supposed to be killed that we are killed, Tinubu would have run back to this country.
How do we justify that the president have the citizens' lives, safety at heart right now? Because I think it's more about politics and power than the economy, the state of insecurity, and a lot of issues and problems that are waging his administration right now.
So, over 150 people of Benue indigenes were killed. More than 100 of Plateau indigenes were killed, and Tinubu is still comfortable in France. Assuming it is 5 Fulanese that were killed, Tinubu will have returned back to this country. So that's why I say he's still comfortable there, because it is those who can be easily done with that have been done with. Now, Tinubu, it is ironic that Tinubu is in France.
Very ironic.
Why I say it is ironic is because some time ago, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, was on a state visit to another country. He heard that a 17-year-old boy was stabbed in Paris. A 17-year-old boy was stabbed in Paris, he cut his state visit and returned back to his country. He cut his state visit and returned back to his country. If you remember the herdsmen that attacked Owo some time ago, a church in Owo.
Yes.
When that happened, Akredonu was in Abuja. When that news broke, Akredonu ran back to Akure. Understand? Because it is his people that are being killed. So now Tinubu is comfortable in France, where a president who has to call down his state visit in another country to return to his country where a boy was stabbed, not even killed. Understand me? So imagine how Emmanuel Macron will be looking at Tinubu. That over 200 people have been killed in your country and you are still here.
Now, given the scale of the planter killings, according to the Human Rights Writers Association, what factors might explain the federal government's delayed or absent response, and how could, perceived ethnic or religious bias be influencing the current state?
No, what happens is that we have a different value system. Some people are being valued more than the others. Remember what happened in Uromi. Tinubu gave a marching order, bring everybody responsible to book. Within 24 hours, some people have been arrested and taken to Abuja. Within 24 hours, some people have been arrested and taken to Abuja. Now check the distance between Uromi in Edo State and Plateau State. The only demarcation between Plateau State and FCT is Nasarawa State. But up to today, we have not heard that anybody has been moved from Jos to Abuja. So, and human beings, I don't like taking human beings as numbers. Human beings are more than numbers. So I cannot just say it is only 16 people that were killed in Uromi. Understand? A human being's life cannot be quantified. So I don't like using that word, only one person was killed. Because of all the improvements made in science, nobody has been able to create a human being. So nobody should destroy what he cannot create. So I value human beings. But in Nigeria, our government values some human lives more than that of others. And that's the reason why Nigeria is burning and Tinubu is still comfortable in France.
And we have all this APC chieftain come up and talk about 2027 election, talk about how APC is going to take over the whole 36 states.
Well, that's their interest, because they never come to govern Nigeria. Their only mission is PDP has ruled for 16 years, we must rule for 16 years. So their own is to grab power, even though they don't know what to do with the power. Because the number one responsibility of every government is protection of lives and
properties. Yes,
that's the number one rule. So when Ojo Zakan is talking about Southeasterners resolving to vote for Tinubu in 2027, what is Tinubu's achievement? What has he done in the last 2 years to what coming back in 2027? But these people don't value human beings. Understand me? They don't value human beings. That's why their interest is the next election, not the quality of life of the people. Not if the people are sleeping with their two eyes.
one eye is open, one eye is closed, because you don't have to sleep with a two eye. Now, how should international and local human rights organization pressure the Nigerian government to take immediate action on this to prevent further bloodshed in Plateau?
Well, some civil society groups has been speaking up, and the truth is that these people, the security agencies, know what is happening in Plateau State. They know what is happening in Benue State. It is not new, because this crisis in this state did not start today. In 2004, Obasanjo declared state of emergency in Plateau State. That's 21 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joshua Darie was the governor. He removed Darie and put General Chris Ande as zone administrator. So this thing has been an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
They know where it's coming from, because these people will come, kill people in a whole community, and rename that community in a particular language. Understand me? So, an instance, if some people go to a community in Benue, kill everybody there, and rename that community into an Igbo language, you should know that Igbos are responsible. So these people, over 250 communities have been taken over in Plateau State and renamed into Fufude. Understand me? And renamed into Fufude. And there's a part of this country that their language is Fufude. So the security agencies know what is happening, but they don't have the political will to stop it. It is not that they cannot stop it. They have the political will to stop it, because just is fortified security-wise. Just has an Air Force base and has a strong military presence.
Yes.
So, but what is lacking is the political will to stop what is going on. But they all know what is going on.
Okay, let's take the last story. Labour lament high cost of living, braces for wage renegotiation. Now, barely a year after Nigeria's new national minimum wage of 70,000 naira was signed into law, organized labor is already bracing for another round of renegotiation as inflation and economic hardship continue to erode its real value. Though most states have implemented the new wage, some even paying up to 85,000 naira, the crushing cost of living has left workers barely surviving, with daily essentials consuming over half their monthly earnings. Now, at a time when the average cost of a healthy daily meal is 1,255 naira, salary increment appears like a drop in an ocean of economic despair. Labor leaders and right advocates now have argued that without corresponding economic policies to stabilize the naira and curb inflation, the wage increase amount to little more than political tokenism. Critics now accuses the government of giving with one hand and taking with another, pointing to rising fuel prices, electricity tariffs, and a weakened currency that have undercut the gains of the wage hike. Now, meanwhile, consequential adjustments across salary structures remain largely unfulfilled, widening the gap between rising expenses and stagnant incomes. Now, with the renegotiation now set for 2027, voices within the beyond labor circles are calling for a shorter review cycle and a stronger economic framework to give the minimum wage real meaning. While some hail the current 70,000 baseline as a necessary first step, many see it as far from sufficient as inflation continues to punish the working class. The fight for a wage that matches the cost of living is far from over, and in a nation where hardship is becoming institutionalized, the battle is as urgent as ever.
Well, anybody who has been following me know that I was never in support of the minimum wage increment. I was never in support of it because it will solve no problem. Anybody who thinks that the minimum wage will solve his problem is living in delusion. Government can decide to pay you 1 million and increase inflation. That 1 million cannot amount up to 50,000 naira. So these people, they don't understand the dynamics of economics. What they should be pushing for is what will cut down the prices of things in the market. The cost of fuel, the cost of transport, the cost of electricity. If the prices of this thing are stabilized, even if you are receiving 30,000 naira, it can fetch you something worthwhile in the market. On this table, I say, even if these people get 250,000 naira, it will not take them anywhere, because it's going to cause inflation by over 100%, which means they will be worse than where they were before the increment came about. Because as we speak, what 30,000 naira can buy for them 4 years ago, this 70,000 cannot buy it. So saying that they are going in for negotiation, to me, they don't know jack. They don't understand economics 101. Going for salary increment is cannot increase the standard of living of any people. What you should be pressing government for is to reduce the high cost of what is known as the fundamentals, the basic things that the people need. Once these prices of things are down, whatever you are being paid in them, it will increase the value of your money.
How do you think? Because the last part really got me. And in a nation where hardship is become institutionalized, looking at it from where we are started, it doesn't seem to become better. And these administration, especially these political parties, are running after the fact that we still need the dragging power amongst themselves. And the country becomes harder and harder, and now is becoming an institution in the country, Nigeria, currently, that it cannot come down.
So what is happening?
What is the motive of this administration? What do you think is the motive of this administration?
Well, being fair to Boname Tinubu told Nigerians that he is going to increase the tax net, understand me, and reduce their purchasing power. That's what Boname Tinubu promised Nigerians, and that is the only promise that he has fulfilled. Because your 100,000 naira today cannot last a week. So he has reduced your purchasing power. That's why I said that 30,000 naira 4 years ago has more value than 70,000 naira in 2025. So he has reduced your purchasing power. Everything in the country is being taxed. So that is the only campaign promise that Tinubu has fulfilled. Understand me? That's creating more poverty by reducing the quality of life of the people. Because when somebody tells you that I'm going to reduce your purchasing power, he's simply telling you, I'm going to impoverish you, I'm going to make you poor. So that was a promise made and a promise being kept.
So if you're talking about purchasing power, like the meaning of this, do you think that let's talk about, I think Nigerians right now, we're not sensitizing ourselves, because majority of the layman doesn't even speak English. Once they just say, I will give you money, they believe they are rich. So do you think that the language is actually the problem? Because I think it's actually part of the problem. That is why a lot of people are suffering in this country. The high rate of poverty is just increasing on a daily basis.
The people that are representing you, the NLC, the TUC, are being selfish. Salary increment does not solve problem. Even if government promised to pay them 1 million naira today, before 2026, they'll come back for increment. because it will increase inflation that one loaf of bread will go for 100,000 naira. It will become worse. Understand me? So salary is not a messiah. Salary increment is not a messiah. It has never helped anybody and cannot help anybody. Because what salary increment does it increases the inflation. Because the woman in Oyimbo will say, oh, they have increased the worker's salary, I'll have to increase
my own.
The transporter, oh, they have increased worker's salary, I
have to increase mine.
I have to increase. So at the end of the day, they'll become worse. But when they begin to push on government, reduce the cost of energy, reduce the cost of fuel, when these prices are down, whatever you are being paid, it will serve you. So this they are going to renegotiate, to me is an act of stupidity.
Okay, you're still listening to the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and we started, if you're just joining us, you really missed a lot, but don't worry, you can still catch up. I'm going to just take a brief look at the top stories that we talked about, and we are going to be doing this. Of course, we started an hour earlier till about 6 o'clock. Now it's time for me to open the phone lines. Let me call that to you on 0803 692 9933, and of course on WhatsApp, leave your message on 0817 175 6338. Like I said, I would be picking some of the comment on YouTube as well, and of course on WhatsApp. So let me start with WhatsApp. In between, I'll pick up your calls. But before this, I'm going to be saying that like I said, I'll reiterate some of the stories we talked about in case you're just joining the headlines. We talked about Southeast backs Tinubu for 2027. Senator Orji Uzo Kalu. Atiku coalition alleges PDP governors working against Tinubu in 2027. Then APC chieftain, we are behind crisis in opposition parties. Huriwa accuses presidency of silence over Plateau killing, citing ethnic bias. Talked about insecurity, and labor lament high cost of living braces for wage renegotiation. Now we expect the president to be back in country. There's a lot going on. Insecurity, killings in Plateau, killings in Benue. There's a lot going on in country. The country is hard at the moment. Where is the president going? I thought he said he's ready to lay his life for the people, but unfortunately it doesn't appear to, because a lot of them are just running after their political parties and how to gain the heart in 2027. So some of this comments here on WhatsApp say, good evening, Orji. Good evening. Orji Kalu as governor was regarded as one of the most corrupt governors by Nuru Ribado when he was EFCC chairman in 2006, when he was your English, where it was before the Senate. So therefore, how can such a person become mouthpiece of the Southeast? Emeka from Abeson Estate. Well, he's saying on behalf of the Southeast. Good evening. It's not Esther here, it's Amina here. Good evening, my able Peter Anosike. You see, Uzo Kalu is nothing but a political sycophant and errand boy at the corridor of power, who is seeking face mending in order to get himself out of his criminal cases. Orji remains the of governor as ever produced. And what does this tell you? It tells you that he has no capacity to decide for the Southeasterners on who to vote, except he's telling us that he and his family are for Tinubu, period. Good evening, my sister. Sorry about that. That was the network jam. Okay, you can still call back. Let me take some of these messages. Good evening, my sister. This is Jovel. Why am I finding it difficult? Good evening, my sister. Mr. Anosike said that no good guy play election in this country. I concur. A typical Nigerian politicians only plan to win election and the next election, but not to fix the economy. Why are your calls? Hello? I don't know what is happening. Probably that would be the network. John from Ijaniki. Good evening, Amina. The president needs to know the commander in chief is not a chieftaincy title. If he cannot act as one, let him resign. How will he abandon his duty in this security crisis and be behaving like a remote president? Orji Uzakalo is the worst governor among the 5 eastern states from 1999 update. His tenure as governor of Abia State was era of family business. So Orji has the credibility and pedigree to speak for Igbos. Good evening. Good evening, Creole. When a purpose is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. Look at insecurity. Hello. Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? It's all ears. Welcome. Mm-hmm. Hmm. 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 Mm-hmm. Hmm. 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 Thank you so much, Babalola, for that. Thank you so much for Babalola for that insight. Very, very good analysis. Hello. Good good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, please make your contributions. Hello, we can hear you loud and clear. Mm-hmm. He's hearing you. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. 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 Mhm.
That one. That one.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. We are right behind time. Just a quick one. That was a lot of analysis there. Good evening, crew. When a purpose is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. Look at the insecurity in the land. If you protest, they will quickly send police, army, and Agbero to stop your protest. Whereas you have bandit and felony herdsmen killing people in Plateau, Ebonyi, Edo, Benue, Ondo. You can't see such security to protect the people, but they are swift to condemn killings. That means government is complicit in all these killings and it doesn't have the political will because of 2027 elections political gain. Also, police or army will capture the Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen and bandits. The government will say they have repented. Oh, how will there be peace without justice? It's a shame the worst of us is running the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Dio, as always, thank you so much. Jovial, your call is coming in. Okay, just right behind time. Why is it dropping? I'm still expecting your call over there. So this says good evening, Amina and me and Peter and LCK. Hello. Hi, good evening.
Jovial, good evening.
He's saying it with all smiles. Yeah. Hmm. All right. I'm timing you. I'm timing you 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. What is what is the record? What a pity. Thank you. Hmm. Honestly. Hmm. Thank you so much. My mouse is hanging. It refuses to drop your call, but I'll drop it here. Thank you so much for that analysis. I told you that was you've paused to the seconds for your analysis. Okay, you want to say something to that?
No,
Good evening, Amina and Peter Anosike. My opinion and observation: if Peter B really wants to give the ruling party a good fight and save Nigerians from this mess, and then he must decamp from Labour Party to a serious party. Julius Abure and the Papa will not allow Obi to triumph in Labour Party because their hearts had been polluted by the opposition party. Why? Because Obi is the only candidate who can rescue this country from being a slave. However, on insecurity, I'm sorry, this is how we will be managing it till this government is pushed out of power, because they are self-centered, who only care about themselves. Looking at what Uzo Kalu is saying right now, I mean, speaking on behalf of the Southeast, that okay is already secured for 2027 elections. I mean,
Ojikan is speaking for himself and his family. He had no control over anybody. Nobody appointed him a spokesperson for the Southeast. He don't even have the capacity.
Okay, let me take some of the YouTube comments. This on Pastor Vanity Van. Orji Uzokalu is not only the worst governor in the Southeast, but in the world. I blame OBJ for not. CGG says, I blame OBJ for not want to be a vice president. He want to be president straight away. It's Obi for not wanting to be a VP. He wants to be president straight away. Obi want to be president straight away. He doesn't want to be a VP first. Is there a VP? Is the VP allowed to do anything in this country? Even while
but in 2019, Obi contested as a VP under Atiku Abubakar.
Yes, but looking at it the other way around, the role of VP, is it really, like, do they really play a major role? No, they just VP.
Some VPs are still influential. When Atiku was the VP to Obasanjo, Atiku was influential.
Well, it depends on the personalized
on the individuals.
Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, Aminat and Mr. Peter Anosigi. I agree with Mr. Peter Anosigi on the case of PDP. They should expel Wiki and bring the likes of Tonye Cool, Amechi, Alindome, Ambodi Oshibajo, Alex Soti, and Peter Obi into the party. Give Ambodi governorship ticket in 2027 and take Lagos State from APC. Southeast of Orji Uzo Carlos Kingsman OJBAK. Pastor Vanity says, please stop entertaining Osifo Cole or I will. Oh, who is that? Okay. So let's get back to some of WhatsApp messages. Good evening. Madam Hajia, please, we are not hearing what your callers are saying. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. That should be from my callers. My callers, please make sure that they hear you. Federal government. Hello. Oh, I just that call just went off. The numbers to call on is 0803 692 9933. Hello. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from? Mayo, thank you. To represent you.